Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Theodicy Podcast, guys. We will be doing a continuation from earlier this morning. I want to thank everybody that came out this morning to support. I appreciate all of the support. I appreciate everybody that took the time out to subscribe or even viewed the video. Um, and for those of you who might end up becoming new to the channel, please, if you love the content and you like me personally, and you like the content that I'm giving, please subscribe, hit the up like button and notification bell. And every time I go live, you will be notified. Like I said, we will be continuing from this morning, where we were talking about the Eligio Bishop and Velvet situation, and also diving a little deep into the psyche of why these people maybe find themselves continuously either going back, making it a revolving door, or for the people who are there that never left, and including the children that also came in and out of that camp. I'm waiting for somebody to come on in. And for right now, I think I we all need it sometimes. Sometimes we all need an uplifter. I hope these young ladies um, are able to find their way through the process and through the mental health um, therapy that they're going to need, and realize what they really have, realize the gift that they may have. A lot of times when you're going through, like I said earlier, emotional abuse, it takes so much out of you that you forget who you are, that even when you look in the mirror, you just can't see who you are. So I'm gonna play a little song real quick. Oh, forgive me real quick, guys. Give me one moment. I don't want to be all loud in your ear, but I definitely want to play one song while I wait for one of my guests to pull up or whatnot and come through. I do appreciate the one viewer that did come in, but like I said, if you like the content, please stick around. It's so hard just holding on and even picking up a phone. It's hard enough to be, hard enough to stay, hard enough to be alone. I'm just trying to move along. Sometimes I do it, then I don't. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell myself that it ain't healthy. Second guessing it don't help me. I'm so tired of feeling empty. Now my eyes, it's time to fight. It's like I'm always against me. Sleep like this is never ending. And I refuse to let it end me. Mentally, physically, I need my peace. Oh, I need my peace. Oh, I wake up every morning and tell myself, good morning, gorgeous. Sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, good morning, gorgeous. No one else can make me feel this way. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. All the times that I hated myself, yeah. All the times that I wanted to be someone else. All the times that I should have been gentle with me. All the times that I should have been careful with me. Why did I hate myself? Why did I hate so intensely? Lord help me. I wake up every morning and tell myself, good morning, gorgeous. Sometimes I gotta look in the mirror and say, good morning, gorgeous. No one else can make me feel this way. Good morning, gorgeous. No one else. Gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. I ain't talking about getting no hair and makeup. I'm talking about sorting my way up. I say good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, yes, yes. I do not own the rights to the music that you're listening to. This music, I don't have the rights yet again. But trust and believe me, it's a great song. It's by Mary J. Blige. Good morning, gorgeous. I think we all need that motivation. Puerto Rican 360, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Peace, justice. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm so happy that you pulled back up. I hope other people pull back up that, subscribe, that enjoyed the content. And like I was saying previously, that we're going to dive right in. We're going to do a continuation from what we were discussing earlier this morning. And we left off talking about baby Jaumi. And so I definitely wanted to dive into that. So let's just jump right in. How are you feeling about that whole situation? Like I said previously earlier, I don't believe in the separation of children or a child being taken away from their parents, but due to the circumstances that Jaumi is in, is that the best thing for him?
Well, um, let's start with, um, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, being the mother of a special needs child. If you look at Jayumi carefully, he has the look of a Down syndrome child. Um, his father looks like he has some issues as well. That man was in the military for 8 years. So he's definitely been broken down and built back up and broken down all over again by Eligio. Also, when does she have time to tend to her child if she's on the internet with Eligio for 8 hours at a time, going "Tweet, tweet, 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 tweet," and all that stupid shit? Cause y'all sound fucking stupid, and I hope y'all hear it. Y'all sound stupid. Y'all look stupid. Y'all costumes are stupid. All of that. But anyway, that's my other side talking. But as far as the baby's concerned, I saw a very disturbing video of True. He was on Bigo. He was talking on a panel. Shout out to Black Velvet from Bigo. And he was on her panel, and people were coming in for Q&A. And he was asked by somebody, is your son being trained to be a servant to Eligio? And he said yes. So that just shows you the mentality that the father has. I don't give a shit what cult you're in or what organization you're in. Your child is your child. Okay? Now, if you're going to teach your child about a religion or a way of life, that's one thing. But to be a servant to another man, your child should only be subservient to you, the person who made him. Okay?
That was something that I also found disturbing. And this is why I say that obviously, mentally these people are not stable. Why? Because a man that self-esteem hasn't been taken away and a man that holds a certain amount of pride would not allow another man to even utter a word to his child, let alone allow his child to go through all these different type of traumatic situations and not step forward and just be like, yo, I'm out of here, I'm not doing this because my child come first. um, he ultimately made a statement. In other words, Jaomi technically doesn't exist. All he sees is this nature boy, aka Three God, aka Eligio Bishop. He got so much friggin' names, it's ridiculous. But this is all that you see, and this is who you claim to be a god. This, and even with the females, because it's like, okay, only his children matter. And you could honestly have those words to come out your mouth and make the statement that I am raising my child and I'm okay raising my child to serve somebody else's children.
Exactly. That's some bullshit.
But you're
And
gonna
if
sit
that's
there and
not
try to say that you're trying to break how are you trying to break generational curses if you guys are continuing the cycle by creating children? and breaking them.
Right.
And so
Exactly.
now they're broken throughout until adulthood and don't even know how to have a coping mechanism on how to even begin with fixing with themselves what was broken because it stemmed from such a young age. So it's unidentifiable by the time you get to an adult because it done manifested itself into so many different layers into your life, you know?
That is true. That is definitely true. Not only that, they also were asking him questions on that panel, like, what is your daily routine with Jaomi? What do you guys do? Does he have 30 minutes of playtime outside? Do you read books to him? Whatever your routine is with him, would you mind sharing? He didn't want to share. Um,
Because I honestly think he doesn't do anything with Xiaomi. I think his time is surrounded by whatever this supposable God is to him when he looks at this guy that is a man just like him, you know?
right,
And they oftentimes when they come onto camera, they're so lost in the sauce that I don't think they realize that they contradict themselves, you know?
right,
Um it was it was crazy just watching Malia try to verbalize what she was trying to explain to supposedly protect her husband, right? And
hmm,
she was all over the place. And then on top of it, being very contradictory. And I think that's why people feel the type of way that they do feel about these women when it comes down to the way they come across and when you're speaking to them and trying to give them a different thought, how they automatically have that defense mechanism go up, even now that Eligio is not in the home and they're doing these lives, it's still a lack of where you guys gotta respect the fact that you guys are all mentally ill. It's always a combat. They always have something to say to combat what anybody else has to say. So you know that these people don't want the help, right? And that's how they come across ultimately. Like they don't want no help. There's content where they're at. But I just think that they're so far gone that literally when he said my one mind, one self, meaning for in there basically saying that they have to have his mind, they have to carry whatever feelings he's feeling. I
yeah,
think
those are
these people
those are what you
have
call
lost
trigger
themselves
words.
in him.
Let me tell you something
Right.
about cults. All cults have trigger words. Okay, remember they're indoctrinated people. They're brainwashed people, and so their leader always uses the same words, the same terminologies, and this is on a frequent basis all the time. Okay, it's just like let's say if you're in a Baptist church and you hear somebody say hallelujah, automatically everybody gets crazy. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. It's the same thing. They have their trigger words. Like he knows if they are answering a question incorrectly, not to his standards, he will say something to redirect them, to give them the thing to say, hey, you're not answering right, without having to say, yo, you're not answering right. He will give them a trigger word, or he will say something, and right away, oh, it changes. Oh, but this, that, and the third. Welcome, millennial queens. What's going on, boo?
Yes, welcome millennial queens, Mimi. What's happening? What's happening?
Hey, Word. Hey, Puerto Rican 360.
I'm so happy you could come and join the conversation. We actually was having this conversation earlier this morning and we just figured we'll continue, but I know you have insight on just like me because I think we both have just about the same insight on certain things when it comes down to this whole nature boy feeling. But how do you feel about this whole situation that has went down?
I have mixed feelings. Like, you know how I feel about this topic, and I tend to just stay away from it because it's very frustrating for me. Like, these same women, I've seen the same faces since carbonation started. So it's very hard for me to see them as victims now and not real participants. Um, all of them need to go to jail. Every single person in this cult needs to go to jail. That's just how I feel.
I can honestly, and that's the thing. We were having the discussion earlier, and this is where I do have an understanding of where you're coming from, because ultimately, like we said before, they went over there and they didn't know that they were walking into a situation to where they will be victims, and then throughout the process of being there, ultimately, they turned into the victimizers. And so, after a while of everything going on, yes, it does come across as you guys enjoy what's happening and you guys are willing participants. And I do agree that some of them, for me, do need to go to jail, but I do feel they need some form of rehabilitation, because like I said earlier, it has to do with whatever they grew up going through to even allow themselves to endure such emotional abuse and physical abuse and mental abuse, and it's beyond me. For me personally, I think that the child that's involved and the children's that have been in and out of there, something should have went down with that situation, as far as the parents being arrested, or something should have took place, um to basically assist with the kids that may be in harm. But I mean, I can totally see where you're coming from, but I'm ultimately half and half with certain situations.
Well, let me just intervene on that part. I heard something from Natiri. She was on a big old panel, and they were talking to her. And you know what she said? And she said that she didn't realize how common this narcissistic abuse is. Hold on, guys.
You could go right ahead, Millennial Queens, Puerto Rican 360 will be right back.
I mean, I get where what I'm saying sounds harsh, but it's just like I get where he's manipulating them. I get all of that. But a lot of them have their own traumas in their real life that they're trying to escape, whatever fucked up decisions they made in their real life, and they're trying to run away from it. Now, the issue comes into play when there are now innocent lives like babies. We don't have time for the trial and error when it comes to the children of the future. They just need to go to jail. Like, I'm sorry, because now it's another generation coming into this that they are just traumatizing. These kids don't deserve to be a part of this, like at all. And imagine being a child in that situation. It's probably scary as hell. Like, they're all grown, but they're bringing babies into this toxic ass environment. And we did a video about this when it came to the whole Velvet and Eliana situation. Like,
Mhm.
it just don't sit right with me having kids over there.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, that's what it all boils down to. And that's why I honestly, like I said, I could honestly see why the perspectives of them no longer being victims is not put out there. But internally, understanding, you said one key thing for me, which was what was mentioned earlier. These people are running from something. These people have gone through things in their lives and they're still running from it. So it's basically broken people finding another broken person, hoping that this broken person could put the pieces back together, not understanding healing starts with themselves. They got to start healing within self before searching for anybody else to heal them. And so, with that being said, that's where the internal of it comes in, and realizing that's why these people were so easily manipulated by this man, because he was able to have that ability to have the gift of gabbing, to be able to capture the weak and the broken because he could not. Those who went and left and never went back, those were the ones that he captured their attention for that moment, but they were strong enough to withstand the darkness that he was trying to put them through pretty much. So, I mean, I agree with you fully in how you feel. I mean, I don't deny nobody's feelings when it comes down to all of them should be in jail because they all were willing participants. And unfortunately, the innocent lives that matter are the babies. And those babies are, when I looked at Jaumi, I feel sad for him because I think he lacks, nutrition. I think, for your father to be there and this man that's not your father telling you have to kneel on your knee, a baby you're telling to kneel on its knee and listen to you talk for how many hours you going to sit up there and talk. And then if you get mad and you want to start cursing and getting ignorant, you got that baby laying face down on the floor, sexual activity that's going on. And supposedly it's a few of them that might be child molesters. And you just don't know what could be going on with these children. So now, Mimi, I'm going to get you a little hot real quick, girl. How do you feel about Velvet going on the news and speaking her part? Do you feel that she should also go to jail, even though she decided to come out and speak on, speak against what is going on in Carbonation and what took place with her?
See now with Velvet is it's a little tricky. Like, do I feel like she deserves to be in jail? No. Now I can see her specific struggle and how she was just a young girl falling for the bullshit. Like he even gave her a disease she can't even get rid of. She left with her child and did not return back. That I cannot fault a woman for. Now she did make some mistakes and it's fucked up, but she ultimately she's doing what she's supposed to do. Like she's been going through it and she has not even used any of the trauma that she's been going through right now as a reason to go back to him. So if you're now taking what you've been through to tell other women like, hey, don't go, don't do this, I can respect that. Like seriously, just because it didn't happen in my timing doesn't mean that I can't respect how she's moving right now. As long as she don't go back, I'm pretty much
I
I'm
agree.
okay.
Puerto Rican 360. What is your feeling on it as far as it goes with the whole Velvet speaking out against Nature Boy?
Well, you know what? I commend her. I really do. I'm really proud of her. I commend her for coming forth. She didn't have to do shit. She could have just continued with her life and continue her self healing. But she came forth and she put that nigga on ultimate blast. And you know what? Velvet is the one with the key to everything. She knows all his financial situation. She knows who he gets money from, how he gets money, all of that. She knows she knows things that none of those members know. And she's a very, very key witness in this whole situation because he did her dirty the most. Serenity
I
also.
definitely I definitely think I agree with you guys when you guys definitely I feel the exact same way when it comes down to her.
She got her
I feel
power back.
like yeah, definitely. I
She
think
got her
that
power
she
back.
is very strong.
She got
Go
her
right
power
ahead,
back. And
Mimi.
you know what? And she lost her dad. You know what I'm saying? And she lost 3 years of being around her family and her father. And she finally got her power back. And I commend her all the
Me
way.
too. Me too. I definitely do too. Mimi, go right ahead.
No, I mean Puerto Rican said it perfectly, right? Because I know I've had feelings about Velvet in the beginning, like, okay, yeah, you're a willing participant, but now I can't keep that same energy when she's using what she's been through to like show other women like don't go down this route.
That's right.
I
To
can't
take
be
it down.
upset at that.
Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. But see, a lot of people got to remember they are participants of the cult life. They did not participate in the cult to be abused. That's where the line is at. Okay? Now, once you're abused, now you have to participate in certain things because you're fucking scared. Because you already know if they don't participate, he's gonna talk them to death for 10 hours. He's gonna lock them in the closet. He's gonna make them kneel. He's not gonna feed them. Or all that stuff. So
But
wouldn't you,
one, but
if
one
you
would
were a
ask
person in that
themselves,
predicament? No, I'm just
but
saying, if
one
you
would
were a
ask
person, huh?
one would ask themselves though, Puerto Rican, why would you endure another man putting you in the closet or starving you? And I think
Because
that's what
there's
a lot of people have
surpassed.
a hard time trying to understand. Like,
It's just like,
okay,
look, it's just like a woman. It's just like a woman that's been with her husband 25 years and he's been whooping her ass. Why would you
mm-hmm,
stay with a nigga that's been black in your fucking eyes for 25 years? Because you
right.
are
It comes like,
surpassed.
mm-hmm.
Your
Go right ahead, Puerto
psyche,
Rican.
your psyche is completely damaged to the core. You do not think for yourself no more when it gets to that point. You know how hard it is to come back from that? It's fucking hard. You know what it is to have to build your self-esteem when you got some nigga telling you you're a piece of shit, you ain't worth shit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year?
And guess
That's
what? That's
fucking
the whole
hard.
thing. But guess what? Like I said, one would ultimately question like who would allow themselves, and you said it so eloquently using that example, but that's the point that I'm trying to get at. I think that, like you said, when you've been damaged for so long, or all you know is pain, you only are going to go into what you already know.
Right,
Even when we understand that to a certain part, like we said before, it's a part of us that we could just automatically get real numb.
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? And just it's almost like a flight mode, like I gotta survive. It's a flight mode type situation.
right.
And
And I don't
I
want to
do
say,
feel. Go right
I'm
ahead, Puerto
sorry,
Rican.
sorry. I don't want to
No,
say
no, no,
that
go right ahead.
they're all not victims, okay? Because some of them are, but some of them are not, in
I
my
agree with that
opinion.
too.
Okay?
I can
In my
agree with that
opinion, I
also.
feel that Malia is a victim. Okay? I feel that wait, what's the Indian
I
boy's
don't
name?
know how I feel about Malia.
Loyal.
I just don't know how I feel about Malia because it's just like
But she got a lot of issues though. She got a lot of
she got a
underlying,
lot of issues,
a lot of
but Malia is a
yeah.
lost soul. I'm so sorry. Like I feel
She
like
is.
Malia is
She completely,
such a lost soul.
completely.
Like
But the
listen,
ones that I feel are still victims. She would be one. She would be
I
one.
mean, yeah,
The
you might as
baby,
well say that. But because for that, for you to allow a man to do the damage that he did internally to you and gave you multiple sicknesses, okay? Where you smelt like a dead walking body and
yep,
you get fixed up and cleaned up and still turn around to go back to the man who done did all of this to you. So right now you're holding up three fingers talking about three God. What? Like you
right.
are
Because you know
complete.
why? You know why though, right? Because if that bitch don't put up that three God three 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 three, and that nigga get out, who you think he gonna take it out on? He gonna take it out on her. He's gonna talk shit to the rest of them, and he's gonna beat her ass. You don't understand that the girl's been his punching
So
bag for
now this
almost a
is your,
year
but
now.
listen, but this is your opportunity to actually be like, you know what? This is what it's gonna be. But I think, like I said, she's so far gone, and she's like, I'm not saying she's a lost cause, but in this particular moment, she's a lost cause because she's
Yep,
so far gone that when she speaks, you can even hear the fear when she's trying to verbalize what she's trying to say coming out her mouth.
right,
I mean, I don't know.
right.
How do you feel
Yeah,
about
no,
it,
you're right.
Mimi?
You absolutely correct. You absolutely correct.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just my opinion. I mean, Mimi, how you feel about that? How do you feel about the Malia situation?
Now, when it comes to Malia, I would have to agree with Justice. Like, I don't really. She she was, yes, she has issues, but she had a child before going there. She left her child behind for this man. It's like, I don't know about that one. Like, I wouldn't put her on the same level as Velvet, where it's like she was as innocent going into it. You had so much to live for before going there. Like, your child should be enough. And she left that child behind, and she's repping this. Like, this is where she want to be, and she has not turned back ever since.
Well, that's why I say, okay, baby. That's why I say that she has major issues, you know? For you to leave your child, that already speaks in volumes. We don't know what
But
her
this
home
is
life
what,
was like. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what type of family she came from. Maybe she came from a unsupportive family that didn't give a shit about her. That probably told her she was a piece of shit mother. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. But I just feel like she was a victim. You know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like the baby's a victim because he wasn't asked to be brought here or be born under these circumstances. He should be a baby. He should have toys. He should be able to play and have a beautiful life. It's not fair what he's going through at all.
but the reason I would say that is like because we don't give men the same passes that we give women. And if Nature Boy has to be accountable for his decisions, so do the women in this situation, especially the women that have been around for years now. And their rhetoric has not changed as far as he goes. It's like Nature Boy probably didn't have a good household or whatever, but we cannot continue to use what we've been through to inflict pain on others. She's still leaving her own child behind to chase after this man and push his toxic message.
Yes, I agree with that. And you know what's so funny was she actually somebody came up and had asked her. They were on Bigo and somebody came into the little box because they were answering questions. And the lady asked her, so how do you feel about like, um this girl Sheba able to have her son around, and you, the rest of you ladies that do have kids, aren't able to have your children around. And Malia's response was to say that her child is good, well taken care of, blah, blah, blah. He's fed, he got shelter, all that great stuff. So then the woman's response was, okay, we understand that he got all that stuff and that he's loved, but you love him. I know you love him type situation. The lady's trying to, like figure out when are you going to say that part pretty much of like, oh, I do love my son. So it's not until the lady kind of like mentions like, I know you love him. She's like, yeah, I do love him, but this is my journey and that's his journey and all this journey bullshit they want to talk about. But it's ultimately like you just totally forgot that you brought life into this world and it's just non-existence. Like, he's loved, he's taken care of. So you just took all that responsibility to go put it on somebody else because of a decision that you chose to make. Now, granted, you may have situations in life that you may not even have thought you would have been in or gone through stuff that you would have thought you never would have gone through. But as a mother, in my opinion, me being a mother, I don't know how you don't think about that other part of you. That should be like a missing part of your heart when you're not able to see your kids or talk to them or even know what's going on with them, if they're sick, if they ate, if they fell, if they had a bad day, if they had a good day. Those things should come across your psyche at some point, especially during the timings that this man had his children around, and then you females that had children were catering to this man who had his children around and was telling you straight up, I don't give a fuck about your kids. Fuck your kids. I don't know how, I don't I can't. I'm trying to understand that part, but that's something that I kind of fight with myself to understand when it comes down to the rest of the women that's there in that particular situation.
No, you absolutely right. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to understand that me, you, and Mimi, we're moms. You know what I'm saying? We have a maternal instinct. We love our children. We do anything for our children. You know, I have grown children, and I still love my kids. If anybody was to touch them, I'm coming outside and I'm murdering somebody. But you know, you dealing with the person. She has no maternal instinct because she left her child. You know, and that's a mental illness. Period. Look at
But the
Look at
question is,
Musa.
how can you
Musa
have
of
no
all
maternal instincts? But how can you have had no maternal instincts when before you left to even go to carbonation, you were in care of your child? At that time, your child was 1 years old. You was in care of that child up until you made that decision to leave. So
And
you
not to
didn't have
mention,
right, but like I
no
was
maternal
telling
instinct?
Mimi, we don't.
Because remember what he told them. He told them, okay, you guys come, none of your children could come. Then he added where, okay, if your children are allowed to come, they
No,
could come, whatever, whatever. Okay? Even through that whole process, it wasn't nothing to click. Now, Aya, I know Aya, she's lost because Aya said it herself. Before I even chose to make the decision to come to carbonation, I didn't have my child. So we know I didn't give a
mhm.
shit because she didn't have her child in the very beginning in the first place. Her baby daddy did. But Malia is like, girl, you is even some moments you could see Malia tapping into like reality and she'll dive right back into that bullshit and that rhetoric that he has programmed her to.
and on top of that, she's talking
Right.
about
I'm gonna
having
tell you.
kids with this man. Like, how can you even talk about
Right. I'm gonna tell you.
reproducing with this man?
How about he permanently made you sterile
The
so you
universe is not
can't
gonna allow them to
reproduce with
reproduce.
him?
That's why she haven't got pregnant yet.
And that's I
That's right.
believe that
There
trip. I believe
you
that.
go.
Definitely believe that.
But
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because he made her
tell you
sterile,
this
just like the
lady.
rest of them. None of
I
them
had
could
this
get
young lady when
pregnant.
she years old. Right. Can you guys hear me?
You going
You
in
Can you
and
a
hear
out
little
me?
a
low
little
at first.
bit.
Okay. All right. Because I'm outside. My bad. What I was saying, I'm going to tell you a story about a young lady that I helped in the past. When she first came to me, she was 16 years old. Her mother was a prostitute, and I was cool with her mom. You know, she was
Puerto
from
Rican
she lived in a
360,
local
you
area,
going in
whatever.
and out.
And okay, how about now? Better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. So I helped this young lady back in the days. Her mom was a prostitute. She was 16, and her mom used to ask me to, let her stay in my crib while she turned tricks. And I felt bad for the girl, so I let her come over. Me and her became very close. Down the line, she ended up having one baby. Then she had another baby. When she got to the second baby, she was staying in my house with her children. So one day, her baby was like, the smallest baby was like 3 months old. And one day she said to me, I'm going to go to the store real quick. Do you need anything? I said, no, I'm good. I got everything. She said, damn.
You're going in
How
and
about
out
now?
again, Puerto Rican. All right, good.
Okay. So yeah, so she asked me if I needed anything from the store, and I told her no, and she said, "Okay, I'll be right back." She left, and she didn't come back for a whole month. She left me with her 3-month-old baby. I had a 4-month-old at the time, and her 1-year-old. She was nowhere to be found. Okay, what happened? She didn't have no maternal instinct, and on top of that, she ended up having 4 children. Okay, so
I
at
don't
any
get
given time,
I don't
Anybody could
get.
fucking flip out.
Yeah, but I don't get like how can you not have okay, so you leave your 3-month-old baby and you leave your 1 year old and then you don't even think to yourself like, oh, at least I left them. Okay, maybe you was going through some traumatic whatever, I don't know, but you left them. You don't even call to even say, all right, how is my baby's doing? Like I'm confused. I mean, like I said, me being a parent, I can't really get down to understand that part of it. But like you said, it probably is not having that instant maternal instinct to automatically feel what's already a part of you that you carried for 9 months and pushed out. Like I
Right? And
guess that's, I don't
it's
know.
also a thing about being selfish. You understand? When you have a
That
child,
too.
you can no longer be selfish because you have to share everything now. Your time, your energy, your life with this
I
baby.
mean, so much different things change. It does definitely change. Nothing remains the same. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that your life stops, but it means that you definitely have to work around the things that you may want to do or the things that you thought you could have did. You might have to alter it because of that decision. You can go right ahead, Mimi. Mimi, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. You're not coming through. But yeah,
I'm
ultimately,
still
I
here.
feel I mean you'll be right back. But ultimately, I mean, with certain things, that's why I mean the discussion needs to be had. But like for instance, like I said, I'm not never looking at the situation from a 160-degree angle or a 180-degree angle. I'm always trying to look at it at a whole, on a whole, from
Right,
different perspectives.
you have to look at it in a broad perspective because what
Right.
happens is that as a person we all have bias against certain things. So
We do.
you have to be non-biased when you're talking about these situations.
I agree with that. And that's why I think I'm so open to, I mean, regardless to what I think for the most part, everybody that tuned in had their own opinions to what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 minute, me. There we go. Had their own opinions to what was going on, being a viewer, you know what I'm saying? And just how everything just you know is happening and still and all is a poor little baby that's there that got to deal with all this drama and be traumatized for the rest of his life. Mimi, you wanted to say something, go right ahead.
No, I was saying I sent you a video link, and it's basically showing all the women that are left there pushing his rhetoric, like basically defending him. They defending their man. They trying to get him out of jail.
They always
So
gonna defend him, girl, to the end of time. Like
And how do you
if you're familiar with like cults in general, like if you go back to any of those documentaries about like the Branch Davidians, which was Waco, or any of the people from Jim Jones camp that were able to escape. Some of them still now will say to you that this person is still their Messiah. They still believe in his teachings, but they know that a lot of the things that they did were wrong. Because, like, for instance, with Michael Koresh, David Koresh from Branch Davidians, he didn't abuse his flock. You understand? He didn't abuse them at all. But he did talk to them for hours and hours on end, with that type of thing, like how Eligio does, like drilling the shit in their brain. But the children went to school, they ate very well. He taught them how to use weapons. They were very happy, those people there. But what happened was, once he started doing dealing with the guns and getting shipments of guns, that's when the ATF became aware of what was going on in this cult.
Yeah, I think
And
I'm ultimately disgusted by that whole. I'm disgusted by any cult that's going to promote such toxicity, and especially when children have to be involved in these type of situations.
yeah, and like Jim Jones, he didn't abuse his people either. It wasn't until towards the end when they made it to Guyana that he started using drugs, and the rants were getting worse, and everything started, taking a toll. And then that's when he started promoting this mass
Because
suicide.
let's be honest, money is the root to all evil, you know? But still in all, these people are out here talking about they're trying to digress from generational curses, but yet they're creating general curses by the shit that they're doing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Especially,
just a cycle that keeps on happening. I mean, for me, I'm disgusted. The video that Mimi just said, seeing a clip of it, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted because
yeah,
you have these young women, they're unstable. Obviously, we all know they're unstable, but yet this man has kept them indoctrinated to the point of saying, you ain't shit, black woman. Okay, the black
yeah,
man
because
is
you know
God,
why, right?
but you,
Listen,
black woman, you ain't shit. And they're pushing the fact that black women aren't shit, but the black man is God. And yet again, it's not enough black men in the world, according to like when you listen to what their statements and all this bullshit was, it kind of was like, are you kidding me? But this is why the generational curses that's going on will continue because of the bullshit that come out of people's mouths that really truly don't understand. And I like the fact that you mentioned they always have this thing that they say, oh, you have to have knowledge yourself. What are you guys talking about? You guys don't even know the beginning of knowledge yourself because none of you know yourselves personally. It blows my mind. I watched the clip. Mimi, I'm gonna tell you that shit had me on the edge, and I'm sure Puerto Rican 360. I'm sure you seen the clip because I think it came from off the T. But I'm
yes,
gonna
I
tell
did.
you, when I was so disgusted because believe it or not, like I said, it's a lot of women that follow them altogether. And it was even some callers that would call up and be like, "Oh my God, you guys are doing such a good job," and da da da. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm sure you got a son. I'm sure you got a kid because these people that be calling up be sounding old as hell. And you mean to tell me you gonna look at these young ladies and these young men and say what they doing is a good job and what they promoting is a good job and keep on doing the shit? Give me a break.
Hmm.
And that's the reason why some of the shit keep on going on when it comes down to the shit that happens in the black community. I'm just
Hmm.
saying. That's my
I have
opinion.
I reached out to Khadijah. I know you guys know who Khadijah is. Khadijah was the white lady that um bailed Eligio out of jail in Nicaragua.
Right. I
Um,
always thought Khadijah was a demon though. I'm sorry.
I still, talk to her here and there. But I asked her the other day, how did she feel about what was going on? And you know what her response was? I don't watch because I know that I'm susceptible to those type of things, and I learned that about myself, so I don't watch. And I told her, continue not to watch. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, you seem happy, and stay on that path. She don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Listen, I think for me in the beginning, that's why I was not too intrigued to go through the process of really watching him because I felt myself being triggered. I felt myself being triggered by the things that he was doing and he was showing, and I felt myself get triggered by the way that the females and the males were acting, and it almost felt like you guys are just giving off a depiction of this is how we are supposed to be treated because guess what, look, they treat each other like dogs. They treat each other like dogs and cats. Why? Like they're showing us how to treat them. So why are we wrong when we treat them any type of other way when they're showing us how to treat them?
Yep. I came across a video also. Um, it was Mama Nine, which was the young lesbian lady that went girl that went there. It was uh it was Musa, but he was being videotaped by Nature Boy. And then it was True and Sheba and Loyal and Zoka. They were all on a big old panel. And Musa was basically apologizing to Mama Nine for raping her. It's on the T if you want to
That's
watch
why
it.
his ass, that's why his ass needs to go to jail because Musa has been caught on multiple occasions trying
Yep,
to force himself on the young women that's over there. He got
yep,
caught on tape trying to do it to Eferu. But it's a
yep.
lot of them that have a lot of sickness that's over there that does need to go sit down and do some jail time. But I do believe they, in the process of being locked up, they need to have some type of psychotropic medication. They need ongoing therapy, severe ongoing therapy, because they lack any form of understanding, period, when it comes down to where their life is and how. Listen, they all look sick. Like internally, they got to get their shit going too, because half of them probably got so much different sicknesses that's just festering away in their bodies. And slowly but surely, one of them is going to end up passing away. But I'm sorry to say it like that. That is just my opinion. Um,
Yep,
for those of you who are watching in the bushes, you guys can come on in. I thank you guys for pulling up at the Odyssey podcast. You see my girl Mimi from Millennial Queens is in the building. Go check her out. You always see the shorts over there. I'll be over there sometimes too. She'll be doing a damn thing, vlogging, everything you could think about. So please go subscribe, hit the up like button for anything you see going over there at Millennial Queens. We got Puerto Rican 360 that's in the building. Skull Crusher Productions. She does the music, original beats, anything that you guys may request, including shirt designs that you may want a picture to go on a shirt. However, Puerto Rican 360 also does that. So you guys can hit me up in the comments and let me know, and I will be sure to provide that information back to her. I also want you guys to subscribe when you come in and pull up on me to the Odyssey Podcast. Hit the up like button, notification bell, and you guys will know every time I go live. But let me tell you something. If you following Millennial Queens, then you're definitely following Theodicy. So you already know what time we on. And Puerto Rican 360 Skull Crusher Productions. If you following me, then you definitely following her. Y'all already know what time I'm on with that. Also, the first lady presenting Auntie's House NYC will be back in the building on her own page. So go subscribe over at Auntie's House. Please go subscribe. She'll be on the move soon. So just stick around for her. Also check out Savage Royalty without the Y. She's on YouTube now, but she's also on Bigo. She does use You Can News you can use, and Martyr the Smarter. Go check her out. She's on Bigo. But all my peoples are phenomenal. Anyone you guys choose to follow, whoever's gonna end up hitting this video later on to view it, and you stay tuned. Just stay tuned for my peoples too, and go check them out and show them some love. Yeah, guys, I just wanted to keep us going in that process. But ultimately, I feel very disparaged when I see those group of people and the things that we are continuing to allow ourselves to do to each other. How are you guys feeling overall with just what's happening? And is it the same thing? I know Puerto Rican 360 just jumped off. I know she'll be back. So how are you feeling about that whole thing? Do you feel like it's just a continuation? And when is the change going to come?
I feel like at this point, change will come when people want it. Simple. Like all of those men have the power to seriously just turn something around. So I mean, turn it around within seconds. Like, how you have one man bitching all of y'all. Like, I'm just confused. So it's just like it's gonna come when they want it to come. That's why I don't see them as victims. I see them as like minds. They're all just like minds. Like, there's no way you could just thrive in such an environment unless you're just like the people around you.
That's powerful.
It's only a matter of time till you self-destruct, or something within you is just disrupting your energy so much that it's like, I gotta get the fuck up out of here.
That is so powerful
Well,
what
the
you
big,
just said right there, Mimi. That was a very powerful statement because right there, that is a fact. Go right ahead, guys.
what I was saying was eventually they are all gonna go to jail. I mean, it just is what it is. If you watch any history about any cults, 95% of the time, if the leader goes, the people go too. You know, those people that left the Branch Davidians before they burnt down that whole compound, they all went to jail for a while. They got out, but they did go to jail. It just is what it is. You know, they have to understand that whatever it is that you believe in is fine. If you have a certain way of life, that's your choosing. You have that right as an individual. When you start breaking the law and you start abusing and doing all this other things, that's where the problem lies. And see, he's so foolish. He put all his business out there. He put everything on camera, everything.
And I'm
He
gonna tell
never
you the
kept
truth.
anything silent.
As a parent though, I'm telling you the truth. You got my baby. I don't care. From the oldest to the baby. You hear what I'm telling you? And you got my baby. I don't care because no matter how old your child gets, it's still your child. I'm coming for you. Like I'm cold blooded coming for you. Like you're not. There's no way that I'm going to like watch my child endure all of that and I birthed you. I'd rather beat you down and do all of that to get you up out that situation versus me watch somebody else take your manhood, take your womanhood, disrespect you, uh, downgrade you. I mean, the shit that he has done is immoral. Period. It's like it's immoral.
You know what's funny though? And it's sad that they don't see it. But that nigga's a pussy. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
Yeah.
I, he's a pussy because I guarantee you, if any of them niggas would stand up to him, he wouldn't fight. Okay, I don't know if you remember a member that came there. He came for a very short period of time. His name was Eat the Flair,
Oh yes, the Puerto Rican guy.
the Puerto Rican guy. Okay, Eat the Flair is an old school Bronx nigga that was a nieta back in the day. And he started his own journey by himself. He already had went to 3 countries alone to be on his spiritual journey or whatever he believed in. And he spoke out and he said that he didn't stay there a long time because he witnessed abuse and he wasn't going to stand around for that. Is either he was going to leave or him and Eligio was going to have a problem. And if
Yeah,
you
you
notice,
see, I would have
he
been
left.
jumped.
Right, he left. Not only that, Eligio don't take nobody from New York City because he can't handle us. There's a lot of people that can't handle us. Niggas on YouTube can't even handle us. They feel like we speak too harsh. We too harsh. We this, we that, we rude, we blah, 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 all this dumb shit. But they forget that we live in a rough ass fucking city. All right. We live in a city where if you walk down the block to the corner store, bitch, you gotta look behind you 75 times. That's why we are the way that we are. Okay. But he won't take nobody from New York. He'll take anybody else from any other country or any other state. What we would call Obama is people from out of state, you know, south, down south motherfuckers. Because he knows that they're not savvy, okay, and street smart and slick the way we are. Eat the Flair was out of there in
Well,
2 days. He was gone.
he know he would get bust upside his shit. That's what he does know.
Exactly,
That's what
exactly.
he
That's
do. That's
why.
what he do really know.
Hmm.
Right. That's why he don't fuck with none of us. But he'll take anybody from any of them other states. But he's pussy because all them niggas got to turn. Matter of fact, not even all of them. The nigga Jax, that niggas knows how to fight. All he got to do is beat that nigga's ass and bye bye. See you later. Okay, but what do they
All
do?
that has to be done, even all of them, as weak as all of them are, because we already know Nature Boy's pussy, but they all pussy. Because even if y'all all feel like y'all can't beat him, all of y'all put together can beat this nigga. So even if you feel like one on one, none of y'all can't beat this nigga. If y'all all come together, y'all can beat this nigga. And it's so real because the nigga said it.
They're stupid.
Like,
I'm gonna tell you why they're fucking stupid, right?
No.
You know what? These motherfuckers don't watch no crime stories or nothing. They tell you all types of shit in crime stories. Look, bitch killed her whole fucking family, bro, with fucking antifreeze. Why? Because antifreeze has no smell and no taste. And she put it in her husband's Gatorade and she put it in her children's soda. And one by one, them niggas was dropping. And guess what? They couldn't even detect why these people died.
listen,
Are
all
you
I know is
motherfuckers
I'm
serious?
wilding your ass up. I am wilding your ass up. It is no way. It's like five of them niggas to one of him. Are you wilding? I'm wilding this nigga head up crazy.
But even Velvet was wilding him out crazy. Like it got to a point
Oh
to where
yeah.
even he had her fucked up. She was wilding that nigga out because it was like it was her spirit started to get disrupted, and it was like you got me fucked up. Like that's why she started to fight. And what did he do? He started to play victim. That girl is all of what 5'2".
Right.
That just
Yup.
Right.
lets you know that if a man was to stand up to him, oh, you, he's a bitch.
Listen,
So Puerto Rican was
I'm gonna
correct.
tell
He's
you a little.
pussy.
Right. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. My brother-in-law beat that nigga up back in the days in the 90s. My husband knows that nigga from back in the days in the 90s. That nigga's pussy. He's pussy all the way. Period. You can tell. You know what it is that scares these motherfuckers? His height. That he's kind of big and shit like that. Listen, man. The bigger they are, the motherfucking harder they fall.
Listen, I could agree with that whole thing, and you ain't never said a lie yet. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. But like by the end of the day, it could not. Like for me as a female, I got so much pride. I got pride for them dudes. If me personally, they would have probably jumped me and killed me and did all of that because I would have straight wild out. It's no way, bro. Like it's no way. You're like I'm good. We not doing none of that. And especially if I'm going for my kid, you can say whatever you want to say, but trust and believe me, I'm gonna go sit up in this whatever Caribbean jail right here and do the time. But nigga, I'm slitting your throat. It's going down. Like I'm not walking away with nothing. Trust that. Mm-mm.
He's a fool. I'm gonna tell you why. Because any other intelligent man will never abuse the women or woman that prepares your motherfucking food, nigga. But they're so fucking, they're so dense minded. They're so fucking polluted in their brain that they don't even think about that. They could have been got him long time ago.
But let's talk about it. It's men right now that's damn near. Well, let's may not be to the degree of who Eligio Bishop is, but there are what we consider to be under the level of where he is with his bullshit. Is men that's in the lower field class that be trying to move the same way. You know what I'm saying? Or doing dumb shit. And then what it all boils down to is, oh, protect the black man. We got to protect the black man. Okay, black man, when the fuck are you going to protect yourself and protect your family? And mind you, it's only far and few in between of black men that we can actually call black men because a lot of them out here are males, and that's what Nature Boy is. Nature Boy ain't no man. Nature Boy is just a male. He was born with a penis. That's it. That's why he identifies himself as a male. Like, let's
You
be
know,
real, it's crazy.
back maybe like I don't know, maybe I'm gonna say like 2 years ago now. There was a young lady. I don't know what her name is, but she had made a video. She said that she went to go be with Nature Boy, and she already happened to be in Mexico. So she contacted him. She said, "Hey, I'm in Mexico. Let's meet up." So he was like, "Sure, no problem." So he told her where they were located, and she went over there, and she met the whole tribe and everything. She said the first day everything was cool, whatever. She said the second day, um, her and Eligio were talking, and she was like very computer techy and video techy or whatever the case may be. So he was going to use her for that, and they were having a conversation, and something happened where the other women got into a disagreement. And so he told her, he was like, "Give me a second, I have to deal with this situation." And she said that the nigga went in the room and beat the shit out of Aya, and that she was in that living room hearing Aya scream bloody fucking murder. And
all
that's
the
when she,
people all the people though that could honestly sit there and hear that and then can have something to say about that. I don't even want to hear what you got to say, because how can you really sit there and listen to somebody do something like that and not try to do nothing? Don't try
oh,
to
what
assist
she
in no
did.
way.
She did. This is what I'm getting at. She did try to do something. And she said that they all surrounded her and they told her, "Don't get fucking involved or you'll be next." So she played her position. And when they went to sleep that night, she left and never turned back. So just know that even though he's in jail, I guarantee you that Musa and the rest of those men are holding it down, meaning holding them women down. He taught them to do that, especially Musa. Remember, Musa is second in command.
Listen, that bothers me very much. That's just crazy all across the board that they could still have somebody still trying to go on with his rhetoric. But that's why I guess they all do need to be locked up. And I mean, soon enough, a lot of that is going to come to the light because of the men. I appreciate you guys so much for pulling up on me with this conversation that we had from earlier this morning and going into it this afternoon. I would love to stay. I'm sorry guys. I would love to stay a little bit longer and get into more deeper discussions regarding a lot more other situations, cuz like I said, it's more nature boys out here. He's not the only one. For those of you who are going to come in and end up viewing the video, please, if you like the content, please subscribe, hit the up like button and notification bell. So every time that I go live, you guys will be notified. I also want you guys to go check out my girl Mimi over there on Millennial Queens. I'll be over there also with her. Check her out, check out her shorts, check out everything that she's doing over there. And subscribe, give her a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so when she does go live, we'll all be over there. I will also want you guys to check out Puerto Rican 360, Skull Crusher Productions. If you guys are interested in any original beats or anything regarding a picture to a shirt, however, put it in my comments and I'll be able to transfer that information over to Puerto Rican 360. Um, and everybody else, I want you guys to check out Genuine Artistry. Go check out Genuine Artistry. Check her out. Go show her some love. Also, like I said, anybody that's gonna end up viewing the video or anybody that's probably in the bushes, go check out Genuine Artistry. Go check out Savage Royalty with No Why, and also Martyr the Smarter, which is on Bigo. Savage Royalty is on YouTube. I appreciate my peoples all day, especially Mimi. That is my sis right there. She comes through and shows me support. And I appreciate her support all the time when she pulls up on me. It's always a blessing, and the conversation is always great. Puerto Rican 360, that is AKA my auntie. And every time she pulls up, the conversation is always great. The information is always informative, and she's always leaving us with food for thought, which is a powerful. So I always appreciate these ladies that come up and spend time with me and helping me grow myself and my channel. This is the Odyssey Podcast, you guys. So please subscribe, hit the up like button and notification bell. I'm going to allow my ladies to say something before I end this segment, but I will definitely be back.
Well, I just want to end off by saying to the Nature Boy survivors and the Carbonation survivors, please band together and create a strong unit so this man can stay behind bars. Don't give up your fight. Don't let him intimidate you. Don't let none of this content on the internet intimidate you. Just keep fighting and just stand strong in your truth.
And to my girl Word, I love you too, girl. You already know. I'm proud of you. It's amazing to see how you are basically just your presentation and how you're running this channel. So congratulations. I'm happy for you. I'm always gonna be right here beside you, supporting you. And y'all already know, like it started with Millennial Queens. We gonna move over to Theodicy Podcast, build this channel up. We'll still be over at Millennial Queens, but you know, our energy is just too big to stay in one place. So thanks for having me. I love you to infinity. So
Peace.